Hello again folks, we're back again. What we're now going to do is, we're now going to sow some red beet, okay? We marked these rows out yesterday. There's about 8 here, but what I'm now doing is I'm doing an experiment. So if you can see, I'll just zoom in. You can see in there I've put the Miracle Multi-Grow multi-purpose plant food in those 4 rows, okay? And then the 4, then we'll leave the rest without it. So I mean, farmers, they do this. Some of them do, some of them don't. Some find it more beneficial and some don't. So I mean, I'm just trying it this, to see what it's actually like. So but I mean the soil, as I said before, I've got it ready with this. I didn't take much getting ready. I mean, that's cracking tool, wolf garden. That's an ideal job really. It don't take long to soon we get over a little plot if it's full of rubbish. Throw and stick another crop in. That's bloody brilliant. I think it's 35 quid, 35 to 40 quid. So, right, the varieties that what we're gonna do is plant some cylindrical red beet first, which basically cylindrical is basically perfect for slicing. Okay, it's just cylinder, perfect for slicing, high yielding, perfect for slicing long cylindrical beets, have a good colour and are free from internal rings, with an excellent sweet flavour. It's delicious served as hot vegetable or served cold in salads. So it hasn't been treated, so £1.49, it's not too bad really, but the treated stuff is like I think £2.49, so which what I normally have, but so I should be about 30 centimetres, 12 inches apart, 10 centimetres, 4 inches apart. But the whole reason for me planting them this width is because when it comes to hoeing, as I think I've showed this before, when it comes to hoeing, okay, it's now the perfect width. So you've got about probably an inch or barely an inch each side. If that was more, placed this way a little bit, so you basically get down the side of the plant, and you basically catch everything. I know you might require a little bit of inter-row weeding as in between the plants, but apart from that, that's not too bad. So what we'll do now, we'll get on, and then I'll probably then come up in where we just harvested the potatoes from, and start getting that cleared, get all the tops cleared up and that. So, but the soil was nice and fine. I mean, that did have parsnips on, but parsnips didn't come because that was rubbished. So, but I mean, there's enough metal there, which is fine soil, so that should make a nice job really. So there's about 300 seeds, so I'm not sure if I shall have enough for that. But what I might do is I will probably switch over and plant 2 of the other stuff, 2 of the Cardinal F1 hybrid variety, which has been treated for seed, or had a special seed treatment on. So, but I'm not worried really if I don't sow these separately, if I just sprinkle them. They don't do too bad under the tree. They get a little bit knocked at times, as in growth wise and that, so it's a bit annoying, but know, you get what you get, really. So, I mean, I've stuck them here because they get a decent amount of sunshine on that. So, in the mornings, when it's over the house, on that. So, but, and the potatoes they're yielding really well at the minute. So, I know that yield's going to be down with the eelworm, but, you know, I think that we can. I think in other places we'll benefit, well, you know, we'll make a recovery from it. You know, where the yields are down. I mean, because they're only little patches, you know, not very big, you know, so, but, I mean, look, for the Sarcomera, I mean, I really, you know, if I hadn't have noticed it earlier on, you know, when they were growing, and it was eelworm, then, you know, I would have been totally confused as to why they were small. But that just shows you really that, you know, they're resistant to one strain of earworm and unresistant to the other. So they're susceptible to one, resistant to the other. So you know, you can get both that are basically susceptible to both, and both are resistant. I mean, kestrel, they don't do too bad. They're resistant. Cara, they're resistant. But with Cara, because they're like King Edward, where if they're not put in early enough, they produce a lot of smallish taters. Okay. So with the King Edward, you know, you'll only get 20 to 30 taters, but probably half of them just are small. You know, so that's why those King Edward and Cara need to go in real early to get, you know, to benefit and get, you know, the full potential out of them. I mean, I think I've put 4 King Edward in one of the 30 litre tubs. I mean, I'll get another water today, so that'll be about, what, 160 mil, so then I'm going to say 6.7 inches. So, you know, I mean, now is the time that they'll be drinking the most, you know, because there isn't long to go before, you know, they'll be lifted. I mean, you've got the rest of this month, August, and that, but getting back to the Cara, and, you know, I mean, they were planted, I think the beginning of March, actually. So, I mean, the soil, I know in some places on the bit where the 8 rows are, could have been renovated a lot. There's some places it could have been done a bit more. But I didn't want to drag it out too much longer because I got most of them in. But basically it rotated up pretty well. I know there's a low there which is part of the furrow, which I'm fully aware of. So that's in a little bit of clay, but I think I've said before, in some places you need some clay. You can't just have it all without, because clay is porous and, you know, it lets the water through. And, you know, if you don't have it, you know, you might end up with water sitting on your soil and you get wet places. But Cara, they are slug prone, so, but they produce a hell of a massive top. I think there's near 4, probably 5 foot, and that. So I mean, you can see when I'll probably do a video later on, just a brief one. But you can see where the kestrel now and the Saxon are dying off, because the tops have basically all gone down and the bottom leaves are all yellow, which is not, you know, normally a sign they're getting ready. But I'm not going to dig those up. I know they're prone to slugs, so I'll get the slug pellets on. But apart from that, that's not too bad. So I'll get the carrot plot hopefully weeded today. I'll probably get some lettuces in here as well. So, I mean, there's plenty of organic matter there, so they shouldn't, you know, go far wrong. Just had a bit of fertiliser and Bob's your uncle, basically. I'll probably do another tub today, and if I've got some more sweet candle carrots, I'll put some more in, and some parsnip. I know it's well late, but with the warm temperature they shouldn't take long to get going. And then what I'll do over winter, I'll leave them in the polytunnel and that. So, but hopefully if I can afford it, or hopefully I can get another cover and put on. And that with a proper door, so then I don't have this, if you know, I don't end up probably having the same issue this year. It's like with the aphids. But I mean, black fly, the black aphid, the one with the wings, that is the worst one I've seen. That's been the most this year for some unknown reason. So I'll probably get back to how I used to do it next year. So back 2 or 3 years ago, where I done sort of like a biggish bed of carrots. I mean, basically what I'd like to do if I had the time and the money was basically dig a biggish bit out, a long bit, take all that out, get a load of sand and compost and all that, and a bit of some sandy soil, mix it all up and then put it all in. And then basically just put the carrots in, dig it to about 4 foot and that. But I haven't got time to do it. I mean, to do it on your own, that'd take at least a good sort of, a good week, or probably 2 weeks actually. Alright, so what we'll do now is we'll cover these up. Okay, I'll cover these up. But what I'm going to do is with the pins, what we'll do is we will basically narrow them up. Okay, so we'll bring them closer. Just got to set them up. Right, we're now going to cover these up, okay, like this. Just basically 2 old tractor pins that I went and got from the sale. I think it's when I went and got the old harrow from the farm sale. So it's like this. 2 tractor pins, 2 old pins basically, and that. I'm just hoping that when these grow, there's not too much there and it burns the roots. But that should last 6 months. So I mean, at the top there, if you can see, there's a little groove at the top where I've just been along, and water that should then go in there if I don't pat it down, and I should cover them up. I should, they should then get watered. So this is basically how I've always set redbeet like this. I prefer to use pens because they're, you know, they're quite good actually. So I mean, just come along like that. Simple. All done, and then you just go along, pat it in. Keeps any moisture in. And then, because this fertiliser, what happens is when it reacts with moisture, it then starts to break down. Okay. And you can see when it's been left in a tub, there's a little bit of condensation. You can see the actual fertiliser is breaking down. So that's basically it for today, folks, on this morning's edition of Garden in the Fens, and we'll hope to see you sometime this week. See you later, folks.